All right, welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're going to talk about Virgil Ortiz winning his fight last night and then calling out Terence Crawford and saying that I'm ready for Bud. Let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. Before I get into the subject matter of the video, please make sure to subscribe to the channel. If you're not already subscribed, share the video, like the video, it would be greatly appreciated. It goes a long way towards helping grow the channel. All right, I saw a fight that I had a great time watching, the Virgil Ortiz Egidis Kalvankuas fight last night. It was really, I think a coming out party for Virgil Ortiz. Virgil Ortiz, in my opinion, went from a prospect to a contender. Loved the whole fight. Loved the fact that he looked like he was in trouble a little bit in the beginning of the fight, but then in the middle of the fight figured out Egidis Kalvankuas and then wound up to go and get the knockout over Kalvankuas, because that dude was a sturdy competitor that a lot of people wondered whether or not it was too easy it was too early in Ortiz's career to take a big step up fight like that. Egidis Kalvankuas is the guy that probably gave Terence Crawford his best fight at welterweight, and I think, and many people think, actually dropped Terence Crawford. So that guy was somebody that was a sturdy gatekeeper in the division, and Virgil Ortiz absolutely got rid of him. Now the fight started off a little touchy for Virgil. He was trying to work behind the jab, and Egidis Kalvankuas was timing him with the right hand, looking for the jab, timing him with the right hand, and actually I think stunned Virgil Ortiz in the early rounds and had him holding on. And then maybe round 3 or round 4, Virgil Ortiz's corner gave him something that I thought was a really, really good piece of advice. He said, "Look, man, go take the body. Like if the head is not available, take the open shots to the body." So when Virgil Ortiz switched to trying to attack his body primarily, then he wound up hurting Egidis Kalvankuas, and then from there it was a snowball effect downhill. He just wound up hitting him with body shots, knocking him down a couple times, and then at the last time he winds up taking him up because Egidis Kalvankuas was looking to protect his body, wound up taking him off. I do believe it was a straight right hand that wound up hurting him and get him out of there. Please forgive me if I'm wrong. I haven't had a chance to rewatch the fight, but it happened, and when those things kind of happen quickly. But I was like, okay, this is what Virgil Ortiz needs to look like, because in the way that he took Egidis Kalvankuas out, he just showed that he was the bigger, stronger, all-around better fighter. And he kind of comes in and looks a little bit like Errol Spence Jr. with that high guard, which makes it look like his defense is kind of suspect. But yet with that real high guard that he has, he's able to really deflect a lot of the shots coming at his head. So all in all, for me, I give Egidis Kalvankuas an A in that performance. So when the fight was over, the question is, what does Egidis Kalvankuas do now? And he said that he wants Terence Crawford. And so we know that he had been positioned in the WBO as, I think, the new number 2 contender. And Robert Garcia has been talking, at least for the last 2 fights, about Virgil Ortiz being ready for Terence Crawford, which is kind of a shocker to me before what I saw last night. Like, now I kind of get a sense of why it is that Robert Garcia thinks that Virgil Ortiz is ready for Terence Crawford, because that style, his size and his strength is definitely imposing for a welterweight. Egidis Kalvankuas did not look like, he got knocked out by Terence Crawford. Terence Crawford caught him with a nice uppercut, split his guard with an uppercut, hit him with a big shot, and got him out of there. But he never looked like he was just physically dominating Egidis Kalvankuas. And when you have somebody with that much size and that much strength, who's that tight and fundamentally sound, because Virgil Ortiz is not I mean, he's not wasting any space. He's not wasting any energy. I mean, he is really a seek and destroy type of fighter, but yet with defensive, but being defensively responsible at the same time. Even the time that he looked like he got hurt in the fight, in the post-fight press conference with Chris Mannix, he said that maybe you guys thought that I got hurt, but you're going to get hit in a boxing match. I didn't really get hit. I went to the back. I went to my corner, came out, and I was cool. So even in the period of time where it looks like he might have got stunned, that's just par for the course for him, and he sucked it up and he rolled straight through it. So I can see why they may believe that he's ready for Terence Crawford. Now, Terence Crawford, one thing you got to remember about Terence Crawford is not natural to the 147-pound weight division. Terence Crawford came from the 135-pound division to 140 up to 147, where Virgil Ortiz is probably going to start at 147, go to 154, might wind up at 160. So you have a tremendous size. I don't know if you have a strength advantage, but you definitely have a tremendous size advantage over Virgil Ortiz over Terence Crawford. The main problem with this is, though, that a couple things. Terence Crawford, number one, being unavailable for the foreseeable future. Now, as of right now, he is in a negotiation, or the teams between Top Rank and the PBC are in negotiation for a fight that was ordered by the WBO with Sean Porter. So that fight is probably going to take place in the October-November time frame. If it does happen, and I have a suspicion that I believe that the fight's going to happen, it's hard for me to believe that Terence Crawford is actually going to give up his WBO belt and to try to get out of a purse bid with Sean Porter. That's kind of tough for me to believe, but they have that fight to have happen first, and then after that, there's another fight that's set for Terence Crawford on the Top Rank side. At least we know that Bob Arum wants him to go over to Glasgow, Scotland, and fight Josh Taylor over there, defend that 147 belt over in Glasgow with Josh Taylor. And then, of course, the other option thing that could take place is that if Terence Crawford leaves Top Rank and he becomes a free agent, then he has the opportunity to do a unification fight with either Errol Spence directly or with the winner of Manny Pacquiao, Yordenis Ugas. So I don't think that this is a fight that's going to take place right away. I will tell you, though, that if this fight were to take place in, say, a year and a half, 2 years, something like that, then I think that you're looking at an older Terence Crawford versus a young, because I don't think Virgil Ortiz is young. And his contemporary really is Jaron Ennis, which is the fight that I would love to see Virgil Ortiz in. That's the Errol Spence versus Terence Crawford style fight is Jaron Ennis versus Virgil Ortiz, and I certainly hope we get to see that. But anyway, all in all, looked like a great performance from Virgil Ortiz. I'm a fan. He dominated like he's supposed to dominate, or like some people didn't think he could dominate. Bomac specifically didn't think he would dominate Egidis Kalvankuas like that. And then, so hopefully we get to see the next big fight with him soon. I don't think it'll be Terence Crawford, but anyway, you let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Peace.